Hi guys, my name is Sandis and welcome to my channel Tax Shelter. If you love this kind of content, please go and subscribe and like and maybe even share, right? Today I'd like to discuss Sars debt. You know, all those people who are owing Sars, be it in penalties, be it in assessments, all those people owing Sars. And by that, I don't mean the people who are still trying to fight the assessment and whatnot in that process. I mean those people who have accepted that actually Sars is right, I am owing this money and I need to pay it back. Okay, first of all, I'm going to talk about the options that are available to you. Number one, the first option that is available to you when you owe Sars and you've accepted the debt is a deferred payment arrangement. Now what is that? Basically, a deferred payment arrangement is when you go to Sars and say that, okay Sars, I know I owe you 100,000 rand, but I unfortunately do not have 100,000 rand to pay you right now. So may I please pay it in installments, right? And this is a whole application, guys. It's not just a click of a button, unfortunately. In the past, you would go to e-filing and click for an arrangement, or sometimes you would actually get it instantly, get the arrangement instantly, and SARS would accept it. But SARS has become, in lack of a better word, they've become desperate for money. So now they've made it difficult to do a deferred payment arrangement. In other words, they've made the process. In other words, you have to submit an application. The application will ask for a whole lot of things like your incomes, your expenses, your responsibilities, and with proof, guys. For the clients that I've done that thing for, is they've even asked SARS, say that if you have a child that's going to school, then show us the school fees that you're paying, the proof of payment, and things like that. And if there's people that owe you money, then we want to see how those people are owing you. If you owe people money, we want to see, in other words, they want to see your debtors, your creditors, and whatnot, not. So it's a whole application, and you get assigned to a person that's going to handle the application for you. So they will tell you, I want A, B, C, and D by this time, and then after that, they will tell you that, okay, your application has been accepted or your application has not been accepted. And that is what a deferred payment arrangement. In other words, asking SARS to pay the debt in installments, right? Obviously, because you are paying the debt over a period of time, that comes with interest and the second option is when you ask SARS to write off the debt. Yeah, you heard right. You can actually go to SARS and say, you know what, SARS, I know I owe you 100,000 rand. Can I please ask you to write off the debt? Yeah, you can. Now, this one is also a whole application, and SARS will scrutinize everything here. And throughout my career, I have done only 2 of those. One was accepted, but the person was asked to pay, I think, 10% of the debt. And the other one, SARS said they can pay only, they can write off only 40% of the debt. Yeah, so I've never had a situation where SARS says, okay, fine, we'll write off everything, right? And the reason SARS will often do that is when they can tell that them trying to collect the debt is going to cost them more money than what they're going to receive. So they look at your situation and be like, okay, when we're trying to collect this debt, we'll probably use resources of about 20,000 rand. I'm making an example. But chances are we are not going to get more than 20,000 rand from you. So these are for people who are in dire situations. Say, for instance, you're a pensioner, and you are earning your 5,000 rand, but you're owing SARS in the millions. I mean, where are you going to get the money to pay? SARS can tell. SARS will see that, okay, you know what? We are never going to recover this money from this person. We're just going to be wasting our resources. So then they write off the debt. That one is very difficult. It's hard to get to that. SARS will ask a whole lot of things. There's a lot of back and forth and. But it's something that does happen, right? Now, when it comes to this letter of demand that SARS often sends to people, I know most people, like, I think Sars is one data or debt collector, if I can put it that way, that people don't really care about. Like people get debt collection letters from Sars or SMSs or things like that, or emails, and they're just like, okay, whatever. People just don't care. So Sars will often send like a letter of demand and to try and bring your attention to the money that you are owing them. But then most people just don't care. But then if there's one thing that will get people to actually wake up from their ignorance when it comes to the debt, is that letter of demand that Sars often sends. Because for whatever reason, people are thinking, oh my goodness, like in 10 days I'm going to jail and whatever. But I do want to say that like it's not all gloom and doom when you get that letter of demand. One of the things that I always encourage people to do is, if you can't at that moment pay the debt, or if you can't negotiate with Sars and or that type of thing, then do seek the help of a professional to see what options are available for you during that time. Because there's been situations whereby Sars will go straight to employer and say that, hey, listen, so and so owes us this much, 100,000 rand. Can you please deduct 10,000 rand from their income every month? And they've been doing it now, and it's been driving people crazy. Where Sars will go into your employer without your knowledge. Obviously, before they do that, they try all the other means to get in contact with you, and if you're just ignoring them, then they go to your employer and be like, hey, listen, can you deduct 10,000 rand from so and so every month? Then you get a letter from your HR saying that, oh, by the way, you got this from Sars, which is embarrassing, I know, because now it's like, oh my goodness, you don't have your business together. But it's the reality sometimes of people. People just can't afford to pay whatever it is that they're owing Sars. So obviously, other than making use of the two options that I gave you, it's also very important, when you see that you're actually drowning and you don't know what to do, to go then and consult a professional. Now, if you do find yourself in a situation whereby after having received the letter of demand from Sars, you find that you don't agree with whatever Sars is saying you are owing, while you are busy disputing that, always make sure that you apply for what you call a suspension of payment. Right? Always apply for a suspension of payment. A suspension of payment is basically when you go to Sars and say that, okay, I got your letter, I hear you, I am acknowledging that you have this problem with me. Can you please suspend payment for now, while I'm busy disputing, or while I'm busy trying to understand, or while I'm busy doing whatever. And also just make sure that Sars responds to your letter of suspension, because in most cases people will send the letter and then Sars will never respond, or doesn't respond, and then you find yourself in a situation whereby you are arguing with Sars saying that you've submitted a suspension letter, a request for suspension letter, but then Sars says that, but okay, fine, you have, but what did we say? Did we say, okay, cool, we allow you to suspend the payments, or did you just... So even though sometimes Sars will ignore the letter, just follow up with it until you actually get a written response, right? So that you don't sit here thinking that Sars is going to has suspended my payments, wherever they have not. They need to respond and say that we are allowing you the request for suspension, or we are not allowing you the request for suspension. That is very important, right? And then you deal with the disputes. In most cases, you'll find that people, when they're submitting their disputes, they submit the dispute together with the letter of requesting a suspension of payments. Now, something else that's very important to note is that in some cases, in fact, in most cases I've dealt with, even though you've requested Sars for a request for suspension and they've agreed, you will find that you're still getting the SMSs, the calls, the emails. And the reason for that, they say it's because most of these things are automated. In other words, if you owe Sars, they have an automation thing that goes every, I don't know how long, that says, hey, by the way, you owe us. Hey, by the way, you owe us. So you'll find that sometimes, even if Sars has agreed to suspend the payments to whatever you're owing them, pending the dispute that you are busy with, you will still get the SMSs, you will still get the emails and whatnot not. And when you do get to those, you should not worry, as long as you have an agreement with Sars to suspend the payments and you have it in writing, you can be able to show it in future if the dispute goes further with Sars. Okay, so that's very important. Remember guys, if you need to consult or if you need help with your personal taxes, my email is on the description. You can email me and I will try to attend to your you can email me, then we can talk about it and I will share my fees with you. And yeah, please like and share and subscribe.